regardless of who you wanted to win that fight, it was not the best showing for the welterweight division. And I just want to say this, guys. Leon did fantastic. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I'm sure you have, that's why you're clicking on this video. You would see it in the thumbnail. Leon Edwards beats Colby Covington by decision. Look, 49-46, 4 rounds to 1. How do I want to word this? Colby Covington went out there, first 2 rounds, and did absolutely nothing. Leon did bare minimum as well, a few leg kicks here and there, nothing significant. I think by the end of round 2, Leon had landed 20 strikes, Colby had landed, I think it was 10 out of like 40. It was just kind of like very, very slow pace, very boring. Colby was not pushing the pace. I think that's all down to Leon. Leon was throwing feints. Leon's a big 6'2" guy, holding him at bay. Colby couldn't really get close. I think he was very tentative. I think he felt Leon's power slightly and was maybe a bit like, okay, I have to be very careful. It's very difficult to get under Leon Edwards just due to how wide his shoulders are and how tall he is, and also how he fights. Very slow, very tactical, very similar to Israel Adesanya. However, guys, it was not an impressive showing from Colby Covington whatsoever. He didn't attempt any takedowns till the end of round 2. He would briefly get Edwards to the ground, but then Edwards would just pop right back up. Multiple times in the fight, Edwards threw out a few submission attempts, had Colby's back briefly. Leon Edwards completely shut down Covington's wrestling and actually took him down once or twice. Just after they'd broken the grappling, Leon would just dive in, and Colby would not expect that. Colby was not expecting it at all. I think that's why it was so effective. And there was one time Leon almost had him in a guillotine, in a Darce choke. It was an anaconda choke, sorry, rather. Colby spun out of it though, and then he just didn't really throw much. He was kind of just there the whole time, you know, waiting, and it was not, I can't really stress, it was not a fun fight to watch. I was stood up watching it for the whole half an hour, and I was just stood there just like, okay, 2 rounds have gone down, Colby's 2 rounds down, he's going to push the pace here, and the judges did give Colby round number 4. I can see that. I did think it was 4-1, 5-0 most likely, but they can do 4-1. And post-fight speech, well, first of all, Leon Edwards' coaches, Leon Edwards went over to speak to Colby, and then the coaches was like, no, like, get out here, like, after what Colby said about Leon's dad. And Leon said in the post-fight speech, you know, it was very difficult coming in here that angry. But he got the job done. He had to stay composed, stay relaxed. And Colby said, shout out to the first responders. And he's not retiring. Colby's not finished. He apparently is wanting to get back early next year and come back. I truly think, guys, Colby Covington needs to go to 155. He did not have the power or the explosivity to beat Leon Edwards. But I want to say this, guys. Colby versus Ian Garry in Dublin. That would be a great fight. They want to go to Dublin next year. I think it'll probably be summertime. I want Colby to come back at the start of the year, Ian Garry to come back at the start of the year. Then Colby versus Ian Garry in Dublin would be a phenomenal fight, a great main event in the 3 Arena, which I would definitely go to 100%. It would be a phenomenal event to go and see. The return, McGregor would obviously be there, potentially fighting. I doubt it though if it's in the 3 Arena. You know, if McGregor's coming back next year, they want it to be in a stadium, make the most money. The 3 Arena only holds 8,000 people. So there's no point in that. I have been in the 3 Arena though multiple times for Bellator events, and it's so loud. I can't even imagine if it was a UFC event. And I know the fans would get behind McGregor. Not so much Ian Garry though, if he's representing Brazil. Getting a Brazilian passport, you need to get a fucking visa then, mate. Sorry, I snapped. But as I said, Colby Covington didn't really throw too much. He had that little winging overhand. Leon Edwards would just slide backwards though. And that's the difference between Leon and Usman. Usman wouldn't slide backwards. He would get hit by Colby and try return fire. Leon would get hit and slide backwards and keep him at range. And that was the massive difference here. And the fact that Colby Covington said all that before the fight, then went out and it was such a stinker performance. The welterweight division, man, it's so bad. Leon as champion, he's such a boring fighter to watch. I mean, he's so talented, he's so technical, he's incredible, but he's so boring. You know, Usman was in my opinion, a much more, I can't believe I'm saying this, I slagged Usman off so much, but Usman was really not boring to watch. He was just so dominant, and he would make stuff happen. And I feel like the fact Leon's champion, he's a phenomenal champion. Fair play to the UK. Fair play to the UK for shutting down a wrestler like that. Leon is incredible. His skill level is so high, but he's just very tentative. He doesn't have that off switch. You know, he's not going to land the right hand and drop someone. He's not going to slide back and drop someone. He plods forward. He holds you at range, very similar to Adesanya. You know, whereas all you say, I just ride Sean O'Malley, but Sean O'Malley, he would slide back and throw a right hand and catch someone, you know, knock them out. And being that Scots tall, skinny guy, like knocking people out, is so impressive. And really gutted about that, to be honest. I'm really gutted about that fight, and the card was all right. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson actually had a really good performance up until he got submitted, and I hope we see him back. You know, he's so fun to watch, and I want him to go as much as. I mean, he was competing with Rakhmonov, but Rakhmonov he was always edging it. Damn, you know, I mean, I would have loved Colby to have become the champion, put some spice in the division, but he just couldn't get going against Leon Edwards one bit. Leon just kind of shut him down. What I will say though is Colby, after he loses, he's very good at just saying, you know, back on the horse, shouting out the people he wants to shout out, and then he'll come back, and we need to see him get a few wins now against top 5 opponents. I want to see Colby versus Bilal start of next year. I think that's the perfect fight. Colby versus Bilal Muhammad. Get that signed, get that going. I'm sure Bilal will want to paint blood all over Colby's face, just because they're the complete opposites. And I hope Colby beats Bilal, because keep Bilal away from that title as long as you can. I want to see Ian Gary, Vicente Luque rebooked, and Ian Gary versus potentially Colby Covington or Bilal Muhammad in Dublin next year. Because yeah, and then I want to see Paddy Pimblett back. I think they'll bring him back April for UFC 300. 100% Paddy Pimblett on UFC 300. It's the perfect timing. He's back on track, and I'm going to go rewatch that fight actually, because the Tony Ferguson fight was a good performance by Paddy, and Paddy showed us that he can stay composed while being tired. It sucks for Colby. I think Colby, he's 35 now. I think we've got about 2 years left of Colby Covington, but if he loses again, you know, I think realistically go down a division or hang it up. I think he's a 155er. He looks tiny compared to Leon. Colby needs to go to 155 or fight Bilal. Yeah, tough. It's a tough one to take for all the American fans as well. Like Nelk Boys, all of that, they sponsor Colby, so it's crazy. And yeah, fair play to Leon Edwards, as I said, but however, I just don't. The welterweight division isn't it right now. The welterweight division right now is terrible. We need some fresh blood in it. We need a superstar, but that doesn't seem like it can happen. Jack Della Maddalena, he is so boring to watch. He's very skilled, but he's got no personality. He's got that very boring Australian type personality. Kevin Holland's exciting, but he just doesn't. He won't be a title challenger because he doesn't care enough. You know, I think as soon as Kevin Holland starts losing a fight, he goes, oh, I don't care about the title anyway, I just want fun fights, you know, because he's on a really good contract now after that 5-fight streak in 2020, you know, so it's just one of those things of, we'll have to see what happens next. I'm very much looking forward to it. I want to know what you guys think, because realistically, who's next for Leon? If Leon comes back at UFC 300, which I think he will, I think it'll be Leon Edwards on the co-main event of UFC 300. Or they'll save him for May or something like that, you know. God, I mean, realistically, it's Bilal Muhammad's there. Shavkat, you could probably justify giving Shavkat a title shot. But then again, if Shavkat becomes champion, you know, yeah, he finishes everyone. But he didn't look great against Stephen Thompson. I get as soon as it got to the grappling, you could see an advantage, but Stephen was doing so well on the feet against him, so I feel like it could be a very similar fight to that one with Leon and Shavkat, you know? But I know Shavkat's much bigger than Colby, and I truly think Colby needs to either fight Bilal or go down a division. He needs to sit back and evaluate, like, I mean, I know he says he doesn't believe in weight cutting, but Colby versus Poirier at UFC 300? Colby versus Poirier at UFC 300. That is perfect. That is perfect. So if I was a matchmaker, I'm doing that. See you guys all later. Subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I would really, really appreciate it. Goodbye.